And I think it's pretty rich for Imperial Tobacco's spokesperson today to be talking about their willingness to comply with regulations. We've had no problem buying VUs, the Imperial Tobacco brand, in places outside of Quebec and getting them delivered.
If the priority was to ban flavors in order to protect kids in Quebec, our question is, where are the health groups now that these products are sold illegally? Like, if I can tell you one thing, if Imperial Tobacco was selling flavored products in Quebec right now, these health groups would be on every radio show and every TV show calling us out. For some reason, right now, and it's been documented that the coalition, Mrs. Duca's association, is really, really close with the Minister of Health. So probably it's very difficult for her association to publicly condemn the government for not doing their job.
Little snippet of last week on this program where we were joined by Florie Duca from the Quebec Coalition for Tobacco Control and Eric Gagnon from Imperial Tobacco Canada. We were discussing the Quebec government rules that have been in effect since October when it comes to vaping, flavored vapes, what type of shops can sell those products. And while we were airing that interview, we got a phone call here at the station from Daniel Marien. He's the owner of Les Boutiques LVS. They have 38 stores in Quebec and Ontario, and these new rules and regulations really affect his business, and he's now in studio. Daniel, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Well, first things first, you've had to change the nature of your shops because of these new government rules. Your shops used to be, quote-unquote, tobacco shops?
They used to be specialized vape shops.
Specialized vape shops.
Yes.
And now they have turned into general stores?
Exactly, yes, general stores. So,
why did you have to make that change? What changed in the rules where you had to change the whole idea of your stores?
Well, to be a specialized vape shop with right of display, you have to sell exclusively vaping products. So, for an example, if I would sell a T-shirt in a specialized vape shop, I lose my right of display. Because they were 18 and over stores. Yep. You need to have your windows frosted so the kids can't see inside and so on.
Gotcha.
With the legislation that came into play, it went away with about 40% of our sales. So we have to replace these sales by different products. But to bring these products in, we have to renounce to our specialized vape shop title in order to be able to sell different products than vaping products.
Okay. So this is so interesting, right? Because every time a government brings in a new rule or regulation, there will always be consequences. And sometimes I don't think we think about all of the consequences here. For you, you've had to just change the entire idea of your stores.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What is your perspective on what the government was trying to do? Because I guess they were saying we don't want young children consuming these vape products. So the goal, I guess, is noble. But what's your perspective on how the government has handled this?
Well, basically the idea of making a legislation to put forward laws that makes that the kids are not using vaping products is fantastic. Nobody in their right mind would dispute that. The problem is that the minors are getting their product on the illegal market. So doing a legislation that is preventing adults from buying flavored vaping products in an 18 and over store in a province that the online sales are prohibited since November of 2015 changed what exactly? It boomed the illicit market twice, even maybe 3 times overnight. There's more presence of illicit products in the schoolyards, but the 55-year-old gentleman that's been vaping a blueberry flavor for the past 10 years because he's off of his 2-pack a day of cigarette consumption is now, he has 2 choices now. His first choice is to buy a tobacco-flavored product, which he didn't have the taste of tobacco in his mouth in 10 years. And the idea, you don't give a shot of rum to an ex-alcoholic that didn't drink for 10 years. So he either goes to a flavorless product or a tobacco flavor product, or he goes online and he buys it in another province.
And have you heard from clients that have done just that?
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So they've gone illegal.
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. So, listen, I've never smoked. I've never vaped.
But that's perfect.
And all I know is when someone comes and sits next to me and they take out a vape, I'm so happy because I will take a delightful cherry scent over tobacco smoke any day of the week, right? So I'm always happy when someone's vaping because I'm like, this is much better than smoking here. At the same time, I'm thinking about the public health consequences and trying to have children not vape and that kind of thing. So do you sometimes laugh that we now live in a province where we've got government run weed shops, right? So marijuana, you can get your all types of different products. That seems to be okay for adults.
And they advertise it. You go in the stores and they have billboards of that specific cannabis that tastes like mandarin.
Yeah.
But when I had a specialized vape shop, which I don't anymore, I was not allowed to advertise any flavors because it's illegal.
Doesn't this make you go mad that the marijuana shops, the cannabis shops, can advertise flavors more than a vape shop now, or a shop that sells vape products?
I would say the way I feel about it is not words that I should say on live radio.
I hear you.
It's difficult for us because we've been doing the right thing since get-go. We're in business since 2012. We were self-regulated. This is something that nobody knows, but we had an association across Canada that we funded in 2014 when the product had no legislation. You could sell openly to kids in 2014 because there was no law.
Zero law.
No law. But we made an association. We had more than 500 different members across Canada, and we self-regulated the industry.
Did some members, though, skirt that notion? Have some members given your shops a bad name because maybe when no one's looking, they were selling to kids?
Of our stores?
Yeah,
no.
Well, not your store, but your all the members across the country. Like, do you know, were there some bad actors that maybe...
Oh, yeah, there's always bad actors. There's always rotten apples in every basket. That's a sure thing. When I was a kid and we were smoking cigarettes, we would go at the corner convenience store and he would sell it to us on the side.
Yeah.
Was it legit to do so? No, but some people are opportunists, and there's always bad apples, unfortunately.
You're 38 shops now. You mentioned you lost 40% of your business, right, by these rule changes. How are the shops doing? Do you think you've got a future? Or
Oh, yeah. The shops are building up, progressively. People are coming back because after going on the web, they pay expensive shipping fees and stuff like that. And they come back into the shops and they try different products. And at the end of the day, we're going to find something that's going to suit their needs. But the idea is that we didn't do anything to protect the kids. Nothing. There's no enforcement. I know stores, I'm not going to say names because it's not okay, but I know stores that took down their signs, that put brown paper on their windows, and they're open for business and they're selling disposable and flavored vapes all day long. The business looks closed, but it's not. So as a corporation, we're fighting with our hands in our back because we're following legislation, which changes nothing to protect the kids. And on the top of it, we're getting our lunch eaten by these rotten apples.
So can I ask you, do you have workarounds that you can use? Like, are you allowed to sell the flavor separately and people mix it on their own? Can you do that?
Well, we do sell water flavoring. So it's flavoring additives that could go into water, that could go into anything that people want.
Okay.
So it's a multi-purpose flavoring. So that we sell, yes. And in order to be able to sell flavoring like this, we had to do the conversion to a general store. Yeah.
Okay, seems like a mess. Thanks for coming and sharing your side of this equation, and I guess we're going to see how it plays out, and we'll see if the government listens to your calls and the calls of others. Thanks so much, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
Daniel Marien is the owner of Les Boutiques LVS.